So, once upon a time, back in the 1990s, my sister and I, who are 2 years apart, I'm 2 years older than her, were sitting around during the weekend and we couldn't figure out anything to do. So we just started trying to figure out, what can we do? We want to go out and do something, we want to have fun, but the place that we lived at that time, wasn't really anything to do in that area. We grew up in a small town called Burlington, North Carolina. BTown, what's up? Represent. So a lot of times, places would open up and they would be open for a few weeks or a few months and then it would shut down. It would be a fight or something and it would shut down. We figured out, it took us like all night to figure it out, and then at that time, we had chilled and laughed and just sat around for so long. I really didn't feel like going anywhere at the time, but we had finally figured out, okay, this is a new place opening up in Greensboro, which Greensboro is about 30 minutes from Burlington, from B-Town. So we finally get ourselves together and we leave, and it's pretty late. But, we were just like, we're gonna just chance it and just go and just see what happens and just, kind of have an adventure. So we get on the road and what happens? We stop at this gas station that is just like a few exits from the place that we're going. So the gas station sits right on the corner, right off of the highway. And we go inside. The cashier is arguing with this lady. And I don't know what they're arguing about, but she's like really, really mad, and he's yelling at her. And she finally just grabs her purse or whatever and leaves out of the store. So I'm like, wow, we're just trying to get gas. So what happened is I think I went inside to get water. While I was getting the water, my sister was pumping the gas, and I had let her use my card to pump the gas. And for some reason, the machine is not working, and there's nothing wrong with my card. I know there's money on my card, but for some reason it's not working. So, she's like waving to me, come here. And so I get my water, come back out, and she's like, something's wrong with the machine. Can you tell them to restart or whatever? Because, So anyway, go back inside. I tell him, something's wrong with your machine. Should I bring my card in here? He's like, well, yeah, try it one more time out there, and then you come in here and try it. So we do it that way. And it still doesn't work. And so then she comes inside with the card, and then he tries to swipe the card inside and it doesn't work. And I sit there and I call the bank, and the bank says everything's fine with the card. So trying to figure out. So by that time he's frustrated, and there wasn't anybody else in the store except for me and my sister and him. So I don't know why he was so frustrated about, just trying to let me get my gas. And so, only reason I was using my card because all I had was 100. I didn't want to break the 100. But before any of that, so he's getting frustrated and he starts to say, mumble some stuff, and I'm just like, well, why don't I just pay cash? He's like, no, why don't you just get your broke ASS out of here? And then he says, something to the effect, you broke ASS N words, you B words come up in here trying to get stuff and don't have enough money to pay for it. And I was like, excuse me? I was getting ready to ask you, do you have change to break this 100? You heard the lady on the phone, from the bank saying that I do, there's nothing wrong with my account, and I do have enough money in there. So it's clearly something wrong with your system, but it's an inconvenience to me. And so how you gonna, and so he starts going off and he's spewing all these racial slurs and sexist slurs. And, by that time, my sister and I are looking like, who the heck are you talking to? So, we start arguing with him, and then this other attendant comes in, and then he's like trying to act, when he sees the other attendant come in, he starts to act like he's gonna jump over the counter or something like that. And so it was this I don't know if you ever went inside of any type of store, but sometimes gas stations will have like big life-size posters of, you know, different advertisements. It may be like a beer that somebody's trying to advertise or sell, or sometimes there's a race going on. They'll have the race car with the person actually standing there, and it's actually the same size as a real person. So anyway, it was one of those things there. And so my sister picked that up and launched it over the counter at him like a like, I don't know, something you would throw, like a baseball. Like, I mean, she had a lot of practice with, you know, being able to throw things. That's another whole story. You know, doing shot put and discus and track in high school. But anyway, she launched that thing over the counter, and he was just talking so much junk. You know, just the hate and everything. And it was just like, I'm just trying to get gas. So anyway, that happens. That kind of sets us back a little bit more in time to get to the place we're trying to get to. And so, you know, we finally get ourselves together and stop arguing with the dude. The other attendant takes care of the gas. And we're on our way again. And we're just like, you know, what the heck? Like, what is wrong with people? So then we finally get to the street that we're about to, it's like, we're going down this street and then make a left, and then that's where the place is. And so we get to right at the corner where we're about to make the left, and, you know, we just talking and giggling and, you know, talking junk about everything that just happened and how long it took us to get to this place. And, you know, we hope it's gonna be fun and everything, because it just took us forever to get there. And then with the thing with the gas station and everything. So just as we're turning the corner and passing the little bushes and stuff that's right before you can see the building, I look to my left, and there's actually some type of shootout going on. It's like, it was like a column, and then we saw this police officer. He was kneeled down beside the column with this big assault rifle, and then it was other police, you know, down beside cars with their rifles. And it was just like, you know, straight some stuff that you would see on a movie. You know, depending on where you grow up, you may see that type of thing all the time. But in the little town that we grew up in, even though I was born in you know, up north, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but I moved down to North Carolina very young. And so just growing up in a more of, I guess, a slow culture down here, we didn't really see stuff like that, only in the movies, you know what I mean? So to actually pull up and see this taking place in the place that we trying to go to, and so I was like, girl. So we just hurry up and drove past that and made a left, and we made our way back to the house, because at that point, we were like, you know, when we was at the house, we should have just followed our intuition and not even have gone, because it took us so long to, you know, finally leave. And then we had that incident at the gas station that kind of made us, you know, be even more late to the place. And then to finally get there, and then that's happening, it's just like, you know, I guess the moral of the story is, if you are somewhere, you know, and you kind of feel that urge, like, nah, you know, maybe let's wait till next time. You know, not in a procrastination type of way, but more in a, you know, something's just telling you in a very subtle way, not tonight, or don't do that, or maybe make a right instead of making a left. You know what I'm saying? Choose the one back there, don't choose the one up front. You know, I don't know. It could be anything, but it was just a really, I guess, interesting example of, I already felt like I shouldn't have went, and we tried so hard to go, and that's what happened. And so maybe we should just take ourselves back to the house where we were already having a good time, where it's safe, and try, you know, going out on another day. So, yep, that was a really quick story. That's the end of this one. I'll be back with some more story times. I just hope that you all have a good one, and I will talk to you next time. Later.